We love to celebrate local people and their incredible achievements. We're doing that once again today with Dr. Gary Wilson from University of Northern British Columbia, who just won a Polar Medal for advancing the understanding of Canada's North and the Arctic. Thanks so much for dropping by, Gary, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, so your kind of work here, which I didn't know too much about, because we usually have you on to talk politics here, but your work stretches far beyond just the local boundaries here, traveling the North, the Arctic, comparing our Arctic with other places in the world. Talk to me a little bit about your work here across the North.
Well, a lot of my research looks at Inuit regions in the Canadian Arctic, so places like Nunavik in northern Quebec or Nunatsiavut in northern Labrador. So I compare their governance models and their evolution as regions, and that's been a major part of my research. But I'm also interested in comparing their experiences politically with other Indigenous peoples in other parts of the circumpolar North. So in Sweden, Norway, Russia,
and is it similar?
Countries. There are some key differences.
Okay.
Yeah, we tend to focus more on self-government here. Whereas in other regions, it's a little bit different, and they have sort of national parliaments that represent Indigenous peoples and that type of thing.
Yeah, a little bit different. Now, what got you into all of this? Was there, from a young age, you thought, I want to kind of learn about Canada's North? How did it come to be?
Well, I mean, originally, before I came to UNBC, I did my PhD at the University of Toronto, and it was focused on Russian politics, actually.
Okay.
But it was Russian resource politics, so I spent some time in northern Russia, which is where their resources are located, and I came across regions there that were Indigenous regions, nested within other larger regions. So when I eventually came to UNBC, I got really interested in what's happening in the Canadian Arctic with Inuit regions and Inuit peoples. Many of them had signed treaties with the federal and territorial and provincial governments. And from those treaties, there emerged these governance models, self-government models. So it seemed very dynamic, very innovative. And certainly some, research in Russia became very difficult. After a period of time, so it was much easier to do research in the Arctic, in the Canadian Arctic.
Yeah, no kidding. You never get cold? I gotta ask that.
Well, I go there at some strange times. I mean, I go there in February, and it's. I mean, I remember being up in Nunavik one time, and it was actually warmer there than it was in Prince George at that time.
Goodness, so. You never know, I guess. Then. And now, what was your reaction like to getting the news that you were getting this Polar Medal, Gary? Like, were you surprised?
Well, I was.
It's a pretty incredible accomplishment.
Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming, actually. I'm not used to having my research celebrated in this way, but no, I was just incredibly humbled by the news and grateful, to many different people that I've met over the years, my colleagues at UNBC, my family who has supported me throughout, my university. I mean, that's really what got me started as a Northern scholar. Being around people who were studying the North at UNBC.
Right. Yeah, of course.
That's been an incredible experience for me. But also the people I've met in my travels, both academics and practitioners, people living and working in the North and doing incredible things in the North. So.
Do you have any stories that you can share of like a wow moment for you across your time in the North? Does any one stick out in particular?
There's not one that sticks out in particular. There's been so many different memories of traveling in the North, and
I'm assuming the constant darkness if you're there in February.
Well, it depends on what time of year you're there.
Or the constant light.
Yeah. I mean, but that's something that's we see in Prince George as well, right? So I've it's been an incredible experience. One of the highlights and the benefits of being an academic is that you get to travel to all these amazing places and interact with people. So
it's a lot of miles.
Yes. Yeah. So you need a very forgiving and loving family to support you.
Okay, so give me a picture here. When did the work start? And it runs kind of until present here, but when did you start doing this work?
Well, really since I came to UNBC 25 years ago.
Okay, wow.
As I mentioned, I was focusing a lot on Russia back then, but then shortly after I came, I started to get more interested in developments in the Canadian Arctic, and it's really been going on since about 2006, I would say.
Wow.
So 20 years of kind of following what's developments in the north. And I mean, my research is very broad.
Yep.
I'm interested in many different countries, circumpolar countries. But part of my research also looks at what's going on in our own backyard and some of the really important developments that are happening here in northern BC. And I think that's, you know, one of the things that many scholars who work at UNBC do is they like to sort of give back to northern BC and kind of shine a light on what's happening here. So that's what I did. I mean, I worked with colleagues at UNBC to look at resource development and globalization in northern BC. So yeah, my research is very broad in scope. And the Inuit research is one important aspect of it, but it's not the only aspect.
Well, I thank you for dropping by today. It's such a cool story. I mean, like I said, we've talked to you about so many different things in politics over the years, and little did I know the amount of research you did in Canada's North. So give yourself a big pat on the back and congratulations from us here as well. And it's a great story for the University of Northern British Columbia because I just think that's what it's all about.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so thank you and congratulations.
Thanks.
Miss an episode? That's okay, life gets busy. We get it. Or maybe you didn't miss anything, but you're here to watch that one feature again because honestly, it was that good. No judgment. Here's the good news. You can relive every moment of the CKPG Today Show whenever you want. Head over to ckpgtoday.ca, click on the Today Show tab, and voila. So grab some snacks, kick back, and binge away because let's face it, life's too short to miss out on great local TV.
Summer is here, and of course, you might be heading out on the water, maybe for some relaxation, but we're going to give you some tips and tricks today with the good folks here at the Prince George RCMP and Prince George Search and Rescue to stay safe while you're doing so today. Very important word there is safety. And Corporal Jen Cooper, Dave Merritt, thanks so much for coming in. Jen, tell me a little bit about where you want to start here because there's a lot to tackle when it comes to water safety.
There is a lot to tackle when it comes to water safety, and there's a lot of different types of bodies of water that we wanted to kind of talk about being safe on and ways to have fun on the water that we wanted to talk about. But I think one of the first things we talked about that we wanted to discuss was impaired boating is impaired driving. So if you can get an impaired driving offense for it, you can get the same sort of tickets and offenses applied to impaired boating.
So you're telling me the drinks count on the water too? The
drinks count on the water if it's a vessel with a motor. So one of the things we wanted to kind of get right out there because we know that maybe enjoying a few drinks on the boat is a fun activity, a fun way to socialize for sure. We want to make sure we always have a safe and sober boat operator that can get us back to shore if there's trouble or if there's an emergency. We want to make sure that everybody else is staying safe because it applies not only to the people on the boat, but those in the water as well. Many of our lakes, people like to float or be paddling in the water as well as using boats on the water. We want to make sure everybody can be safe when that's happening.
I'm sure the number one thing you guys hear, Dave, at Prince George Search and Rescue is, I wish I did this differently.
Yeah, we hear it quite often, and it's a lot of people think that we're in a vessel, things are going to be safe, things can't go wrong. We have rivers, we have lakes, as Jennifer said there. The biggest thing is moving water is different than lake water. That moving water, the Fraser River right now is trucking along at like 14, 15 kilometers an hour. And the Nechako faster than it looks too. The Nechako is really fast as well, and people have this perception that I'm in my vessel, I'm going to be safe. Whether, as Jennifer said, drinking, that we run into those people. Oh, I shouldn't have been doing that. Yeah, you shouldn't have been doing that, because it impairs your ability to react. You're running a jet boat on a river, things can go sideways fast, and you should be wearing your proper PPE safety equipment. Yeah, let's go through some of that here. You got it on the couch, and just for people to see the difference, I was learning today a little bit about the difference between PFDs and life jackets. Run me through here. Yeah, sounds good. I'll talk about those, and then I know Jennifer's got some points that people need to be aware of under legislation you need to think about. So everybody thinks a PFD is a life jacket. Yeah. PFD is not a life jacket. A life jacket, I'm going to start there, actually has a floater on the back. And the purpose of this is if you go into the water, it holds your head above water. Right, so you'll know it's a life jacket, not a personal flotation device by the head thing. Yeah, by the head thing and the flotation in it, and there'll be a stamp on the inside of it from the Coast Guard saying this meets that requirement. Okay. You have to have this on your vessel, right? You may or may not want to wear it. That's, I'm not going to get into that argument. I want you to wear at least a PFD.
Yep.
So a PFD is designed to keep you afloat. It allows you to do activities.
Those are the cool looking ones you're wearing wakeboarding or whatever.
Well, these ones are our Swiftwater ones for our Swiftwater team, right? Not if you're wakeboarding in this,
you're overkill.
You're a little bit overkill. So these ones are our Swiftwater ones so that we can do rescues. You know, we got our tethers on there for clipping into lines, knives for in case we get entangled. These are really important, but a lot of paddleboarders, all you need is a little something like this to go out in a paddleboard. And a paddleboard
won't ruin your tan lines.
Well, not as badly.
Not as badly. I don't really have tan lines, so. But the idea with this is, if you fell overboard, you're going to float.
Right.
And you know, people don't want to wear it in the summertime on a paddleboard. But you know what? We've had some fatalities in BC this year.
Or even floating down the Nechako or the Fraser River. Floating is boating, so we want to make sure if we're floating the river, we have some of the same safety tips and tricks apply, and we want to make sure we're taking those same safety considerations, whether we're floating or boating.
Paddleboarding, you're doing all this cool fun stuff you should be.
Yeah, and I mean, it takes nothing to get off a paddleboard, and now you're in the water.
Yep.
And we think it's hot, it's 30 degrees outside, but the water's not.
Yeah.
And your limbs, this will help you float.
Okay.
Yep.
So wear a PFD.
At minimum.
At minimum, and if you're in a boat, you have to have a life jacket.
Yeah, better safe than sorry, always.
Speaking of in a boat with a life jacket, you actually need to make sure that you have a life jacket for every person that's on your vessel, and one that fits them. So if you have a toddler or an infant with you, you need to make sure that you have toddler and infant life jackets, as well as if you have maybe a taller individual or a heavier set individual, you need to make sure your PFD or your life jacket, is actually rated for that individual. So you need to have a wide range that applies to everybody that's on your boat. And you need to make sure you have that before you get out on the water.
And probably have them accessible too.
They have to be accessible. I mean, again, our preferred accessibility is having it on.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it's there. You don't have to search for it if your boat flips over.
And Dave and I were talking about how accidents happen in the blink of an eye. And if your life jackets are tucked nicely away in a cupboard on your boat, and someone's overboard or something's happened to the boat, you may not have the opportunity to access that cupboard and get the flotation device on, especially if it's children we're talking about now that weren't wearing their flotation devices. What are they going to do when they hit the water, right? Has your head hit the water? Are you now dizzy, unconscious, not thinking straight? There's a lot of things that we need to take into consideration when we're boating that apply to safety, and make sure that everybody gets back to shore the way they went out.
It's now time for Post Your Pet here on CKPG. And take a look at this one today. This is one of the ones we got last year. Oh, what a great smiling little face this is. Do you think your pet has what it takes to steal the spotlight? Then it's time to post your pet. Head online to ckpgtoday.ca for a chance to win the grand prize. Our Post Your Pet contest is proudly supported by WR Ventures, Northland Nissan, Aberdeen Glen Golf Course, Mrs. Flowers, Johnston Meyer Insurance, Ties Equipment, and the Prince George Humane Society. Tired of missing the good stuff? Let CKPG Today come to you. Our new weekly email newsletter delivers local stories, contests, and can't-miss moments from the show straight to your inbox. No digging through social media anymore. It's free, it's easy, and it's very local. Sign up now at ckpgtoday.ca or by scanning the QR code on your screen now.
Here's one thing you hope to never see at YXS, but definitely when they pull them out, it is super duper cool. So we're going to give you an up-close personal look with their new fire engine. I guess you could say that. What is the proper name for this, Kathleen? Thanks so much for making the time to chat.
Yeah, we just call them fire trucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just fire trucks at the airport. They look a little different than the normal one, but walk me through this new addition here and what you can tell us about it.
Yeah, so we just got this last year and it just came into service this summer. It is pretty cool. It's big. It's replacing one of our older trucks that was built in '97. It has way more capability for holding water and foam than the other truck.
Okay.
And it also has more turrets, farther reach. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess you guys probably use this for the most part in a lot of training, making sure it's ready just in case, right?
Yeah, I've never actually had to use this in real life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hope we didn't just jinx that on camera, but
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that.
okay. What is it like when you're driving this one? Is it noticeably different than any of the other ones?
Oh yeah. It drives really smooth. It can turn really sharp. It's way nicer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I hear that this one's a Panther. Is that the brand?
Yep, it's a Rosenbauer Panther.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like when you're driving a Chevy or Ford, or this is just the brands of this?
Yep, it's like a Chevy Silverado.
Interesting. Now, what is the coolest thing maybe someone wouldn't expect to see on this particular truck? I guess it is used for airport stuff, so there's a little bit of more random stuff than usual, but.
Mm-hmm. I think my favorite thing about this truck is the turrets and how far it can spray.
Okay.
We tested it this summer before it went in service, and it was 100 meters. So that's crazy.
100 meters. Kathleen, I think we should get inside. What do you say?
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. I hear it has the new car smell still.
It does.
Can you believe this? Can you believe this? This is crazy. This never has to happen. But guess what? Come on inside. We got to show you the cockpit of this thing. I don't know if that's the correct word either, but this is cool.
Now, this is like being the inside of a spaceship. I mean, look at all the buttons here, Kathleen. What is this, and is it like driving an airplane? I feel like it's got the same kind of things.
Well, I've never driven an airplane before, but it is pretty cool. We can control, so we have a bumper turret and a roof turret, and we can control that with these joysticks.
Okay.
We have a camera with thermal imaging, so we can detect hot spots in an airplane.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
pretty
then
cool.
We can control our foam and our chemical application and radios.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All the works you need to have in one of these technical pieces of equipment. Should we take it for a drive?
Yes, we should.
Now, normally, so if you're responding to something, how many people are in here?
So depending how many people are in the hall at that time, between 1 to 3. Normally 1 or 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I want to bitch at people in the terminal right now. Like, who the heck are these guys doing? Driving this thing, is it like driving a car? Like, what is it?
So the old trucks, no,
Yeah,
it was
no.
like driving a beast. This one is very smooth. It has a 110-foot turning radius, so we can turn in a really
Turn on a dime.
yeah.
Huh. Should we put it to the
And-
test?
Sure, we can do that.
Let's see. Okay. Can it turn better than the CKPG Jeep?
I don't think so.
Doing donuts in the airport. Yeah.
So the cool thing about this truck is when you're responding to an incident, time is very important.
course.
So you can actually start the pump while you're driving
Oh,
and be
wow.
all ready by the time you get there.
Whoa, look at this. Look at the turret. We're locked and loaded. Whoa! Whoa, look at that thing go! Oh my god! Yeah, you're not kidding. That shoots far.
Yeah, it goes far.
And look at the spray radius. Wow.
Yeah, when you're practicing, you have to be careful where you're pointing because you could easily hit something.
Yeah, I feel like if you hit something, it's blowing away.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I won't touch the siren, but you can see the buttons right
Actually, you can. You
I
give it a
can?
go. Yeah.
there. Wow. It's comfy. I can sit in this all day.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. And then before we park it, the last thing we do
Yeah.
is we have to drain the tanks
Ah.
or drain the pump.
Master drain. And that just washes away here.
Yeah.
Interesting. All the little things you wouldn't expect that you have to do. You gotta do. Now, before we park this thing, Kathleen, thank you so much for the tour today.
You're welcome.
This has been unbelievable. I never thought I would get to say I've sat in one of these type of pieces of equipment, and you can saw the water turret go off too. That was
killer moment.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Taking a look outside at our CKPG snapshot of the day from Brian Leslie, who was lucky enough to be looking in the right direction to capture this shot. This is a really cool shot of some clouds that were consuming the sun that day. You can imagine a late afternoon thunderstorm. This is kind of what it looks like when it begins to take shape. No, I don't think this is before the tornado warning. I don't believe so. But yeah, it's crazy how fast the clouds move, especially in the late afternoon when we're getting a thunderstorm. They really do cruise on in there. And Brian Leslie was in the right place at the right time with the right camera to capture this shot. So thank you so much. Folks, if you have a snapshot to share, we would love to see your photos. Snapshot@ckpg.com is our email inbox. So today we're doing a lot of talking about boating and staying safe on the water, right? Well, how about this today in local history? We're talking about a plane called the Goose. Maybe you know which particular plane this is. It is actually at the National Aviation Museum, but its history stems here from northern British Columbia. We're going to look about the local initiative that saved this plane from just heading to the junkyard. Taking a look back to 1995, a local campaign pays off, and the Goose was saved for posterity. You can see that plane pictured here. It was inside the RCMP's hangar, but would soon go to the National Aviation Museum. A piece of Canadian history, the historic Grumman Goose, flying to a final resting place. It's kind of a cool story here. This cool, unique plane first saw service in 1944 for the Royal Canadian Air Force. Was originally kept in Prince Rupert, transferred to Prince George to be kept in the RCMP's hangar here, and when the Mounties had no use for it, well, they weren't sure what they were going to do with it until there was a local campaign to bring it to the National Aviation Museum in Ottawa, which you can still visit it there today. And it departed in ceremonial fashion at the Prince George Air Show that year.
There you go, pretty cool stuff. It's always amazing, actually, when those planes land on the water, how smooth they make it look, but how slim of a margin of error those pilots really do have to make it land nice and smoothly on the water, especially if there's waves. Anyways, thanks so much for watching today, folks. Enough about that. Enjoy the water when you head out there. Enjoy the sunshine when you get a chance as well. We'll still be here when you come back. We'll be here tomorrow, in fact. Okay? We'll see you then. Bye for now.